So, conveniently, voice typing works again. I'm still going to try and talk slowly, though, just not as slow as last time because that was kind of painful even for me. I'm not actually going to talk slow during this re-recording. So yeah, voice typing is the spice of life. Life spice. I got a new poster on my wall from Ashes and Grimgar. It looks so cool. I'll attach a picture so you can all see it with everything else. The rest of the things look as well, but I'm just super excited for that very epic poster because it's, what I'm excited about at the moment. However, to get to the life of the update of the email, I should start by saying the day that I wrote the last email, I did nothing else and went to bed. So yeah, that's step one of life, the emails. Go to sleep so you can survive the next day. Let's see. The next day, I did my morning routine. Apparently, I tackled the day well and got some work done. But I decided to go to this engineering society meeting afterwards because they were like, free canes. And I was like, free canes sound good to me. But when I got there, I realized a few things. First, most of them were guys, of course. Like, most people are guys, which is expected. But, I severely underestimated the nature of the population. So I only got 2 chicken wings, and that was it. Or chicken fingers, whatever. And second, engineers suck at sports. Holy cow, we played volleyball, and it was the worst exhibition of athletic prowess I've ever seen. Like, it was garbage. There may be 2 guys there that had eye-hand coordination. It was like, I don't know if I want to be associated with you. So yeah, that was painful. Really bad. But aside from me bailing on that, because I was like, well, if I'm not getting canes and all these people are stupidly uncoordinated, then, they just keep talking about a jet propulsion system that, wasn't actually a thing. They didn't have a jet propulsion system, but, they would do that. Then I'm just going to pass. So I went to Ratio Christie and got real food, which was Panda Express. So yay. During Ratio, I did homework, which has become the new thing for me because statistics is death, and I need to do it sometimes, and it takes me ages. I think the last time it took me 2 hours to get done, so that was just one problem. So yeah, that worked out well. I then talked with Alan about Catholicism, which was required, and what is required for salvation, and we came to a conclusion, which, if you want to know it, then you can ask me. I then went home and got stuff sorted out before going to bed. The next day, I went to the gym for the first time, but I just ran on the treadmill because I was like, this is a strange and new thing, and it's also very fancy. The CSU gym is massive, actually massive. Then when I got home, I reconnected with the Majesty of Reason because I kind of stopped talking to him for a little bit since school started. And as you might, imagine, life gets super busy when you're doing engineering. So I was like, I don't have time for philosophy right now. But then I was like, I need a philosophy again. So I started talking with Majesty of Reason. And don't get me wrong, I've done some good philosophy in the meantime. Majesty of Reason is very big in philosophy. So yeah. Let's see. After I went to the gym, I talked with Majesty of Reason, did school, did work as per usual. I spent half an hour cleaning out my Rocket Book. That's the fancy notebook I have that transcribes all the things I use. It's reusable and stuff. But it takes 8 hours to clean. Ugh. I then went to Joe's house for Tuesday Night Magic and some Brawlhalla, but did leave early because I was kind of feeling social out, and then I decided to work on my anime list. So apparently, I discovered this. Well, I guess you might, I might as well tell you now because it's, going to be the next thing for Life News. So, I was looking through CSU's clubs, right? The fun recreational clubs. And I was like, maybe I'll get involved in some things that I enjoy. And it just so happens I stumbled upon the fact that there's an anime club. So, of course, being wary of weeb culture as I am, I was like, I'll join their Discord, but I won't go to their meetings. Just, to see what's up. And so I joined their Discord, and first of all, I have found many like-minded spirits upon their Discord, and I'm like, whoa, you watched that anime too? And yeah, that's pretty cool. But I haven't gone to a meeting yet. However, I'm going to do it tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll remove myself from the club anime, the anime club, who knows? Maybe I'll get involved in it. You'll have to find out. And, maybe there's also normal people who like anime. That's also a possibility. Anyway, basically while I was on Discord, they have these little anime list profiles where you can show every anime you've watched and the total time and so forth. And I was like, ooh, I want to do that. So I got home from the activities of Tuesday nights, which was Monday nights. And then I spent an hour and a half putting all my anime that I've watched in this website. And it turns out I've watched a minor 2,290 episodes. And I know what you're thinking, but I did the math and that averages out to 1 hour and 12 minutes of anime a day. I still know what you're thinking. Alex, that seems excessive. But don't forget that's the only media I consume. I don't have any social media. I don't do a bunch of video games. Okay, I play Minecraft occasionally, but it's very rare. And you see how rare it is because it's in my live emails. I don't go watching live action shows or anything like that. All the media I consume is anime, which means I'm averaging about 1 hour and 30 minutes of media a day, which compared to most of you is actually doing very well. Therefore, deemed acceptable. But yeah, I've watched about 2,290 episodes, and I'm going to leave a legacy when I die. Okay, I did that. I went to bed. The next day thereafter, I did my morning routine and did quite decent quiet time and some lovely Summa Theologica reading, which is going well, by the way. Thomas is very wise and sometimes just really annoying. Okay, I have to amend something. So it turns out I now understand original sin, and for any of you, did I send you all the full Catholic talk? I'm not sure. Okay, well, I understood the Catholics' understanding of original sin was something else, and I thought it was smart. But Aquinas was like, this completely coherent theory about how some people think that original sin works? It's wrong! So if any of you heard my Catholic talk, the original sin thing I said is wrong, according to Aquinas. I mean, I still think it's a plausible answer, but whatever. Anyway, I did routine, did school and work. I did some math and understood it, which was great. I then emailed Amelia. Haven't talked to her in a while, so that's cool. And it was Wednesday. So I did Magic at Magic Club and did homework in the meantime. Also, I'm discovering that having something to do while you wait is fantastic. Like, gosh, Magic is like a lot of waiting for your turn to come around. So paying attention is not all that useful because like everyone has spectacular board states and tons of interactions, and you're just like, I don't understand what you're doing. So it's way better just play Magic like when you completely ignore what everyone else does until, they tell you to pay attention, and just do your homework. And then when it comes to your turn, you do your thing and you go back and repeat the cycle. So yeah, that worked out for me really well. It just makes you feel like you're not wasting time, which is great. And yeah, my commander deck did really well, so that was cool. I've become a lot more well-known among the Magic Club, which is also cool. Ever since my decks are no longer really bad, well, not really bad by comparison. So yeah, did that, went home, and went to bed because it was late. The next day, I worked out and lifted weights and stuff. I got tired because working out is tedious and painful. I then did school, which was cool, and some stuff in the HBCRL. That's the lab area in my work. And then I took a test, which was death, so that was fun. But aside from the test of death, I kind of just went home after that, watched a bit of anime, met up with Morgan, and we basically just talked a bunch. We haven't talked since the Idaho trip, which has been ages, and it's kind of hard to believe it's been that long. So yeah, we just sat down, talked, and that was good. And after I went back home, and me and Morgan watched some anime. Started watching Vivi together, which is another anime I think is really well done. Vivi Floritas. And yep, did that for like an hour with me. She did that. After that, I talked with Majesty of Reason some more and continued my discussion with him. At this point, our discussion is 25,000 words, so definitely a lengthy discussion. I then worked some more on anime, on the anime list, which I didn't finish the night before, and because I didn't get all the movies, the rewatches. And then I did that till bedtime, and then I slept. The next day I had school and work, and yeah, I did badly on my math exam. I thought I did really well, the aforementioned test of death. It was only death because I spent 3 hours prior doing statistics homework, aka math homework, so my brain was like, I don't want to work. But then it stole my will from the test, and I thought I did great, but apparently I did not. So when I got it back, I got a 64. That's the worst math grade I've ever had in my life. So I was like, oh no. However, now that I've actually received my first test back, the reason that grade is what it is they're stupidly harsh graders. 3 of my problems, here's 3 examples. One problem, I forgot to carry down a 3, and they counted me off for 66% of the problem. The other problem, I subtracted a 0 instead of a 1 from a 1 instead of a 0, and they counted me again, 66% off. And then finally, I forgot to take the t's out of my equation, and they counted me off 2/3 again. So in the end, there was really only one problem that I actually got wrong. The rest of the problems were you got it right, but you did this little thing wrong. So yeah, I mean, at least, I'm not conceptually at a 64, but it kind of sucks that my first math exam grade is at 64%. So that was fun. Once I got that back, I was sad, and then that was unfortunate. I then watched some anime with Morgan, played some Minecraft, and listened to Majesty of Reason. Basically, I would listen to him and then go do whatever I got to do at some point. Oh, basically, I'd listen to him, and then whenever I got to some point that was important, I would just stop playing Minecraft and write down whatever the important thing was, and then come back with questions. So it was more like a study video game session. After that, I was like, I'm bored. And normally I just fill this time with friends or something, which is something I've noticed I do a lot. However, I realized at this point in time that defaulting to doing something with doing something with friends doesn't actually make me an interesting person. I'd rather be an interesting person and do things with friends, not because I have nothing better else to do, but because those people are generally interesting as well. So I decided to find myself a hobby, and after some in-depth research and a bit of Grace's suggestions, which she can take credit for, I decided to start doing chainmail. Woo! AKA, I buy wire, twist it 1,000 bazillion times for hours and hours on end, cut the little twists into rings, and string the rings together in patterns. I made this chain, among other things. I also made a bunch of different patterns so I could see what they're like, because I'm going to try and make an actual full suit of chainmail armor. It'll take so long, but if I succeed, it's going to be cool. So yep, I was excited to start chainmail, and then I went to sleep. The next day I had no quiet time, because I forgot, honestly. I then did some Minecraft and watched some YouTube videos, / listened to philosophy podcasts. Oh, and then the family and I went to Red Feather, which was kind of gross, actually. Red Feather is not very nice. We did a family get-together and hung out, and it was, kind of lame because the aforementioned slummy area, but we started playing Spikeball, and that was a blast. Everyone got into it, even mom and dad, and it was actually super fun. So hopefully we can do that again. Thereafter, we went back, and I watched an episode of Exposure with Ben, which he was super angsty about. He was like, you don't understand the art of struggle. And I'm like, that looks dumb. So, yeah, that was the interchange. I accidentally offended his friend, too, which was unfortunate. And I was like, oh, darn, that's Alex 1.0 material. We need to get into Alex 2.0 material. So, yeah, I said I was sorry, and I reverted back. Oh, so I was sad that I reverted back to Alex 1.0. But to be fair, while I understand they're in time pressure and stuff, I still have to wonder if these are world-class animators, and this is, the best they can do. I don't know. It just seemed bad to me. Anyway, if Ben found what I was saying, found out I was saying this, he would kill me. So ignore that. What I mean to say is, it was great. Spectacular work. Fantastic. According to some. And that way doesn't count as lying. See? Moving on, what happened next is I got Music City Hot Chicken, which is apparently a legend around here. And it was good, but stupidly expensive. So not worth it. I then joined the Ratio Christie call, and it was fine. Oh, and yeah, let me tell you about the pony griefing. Never mind. Actually, that's already been talked about. Once I got back, I hung out with Braden some before talking with Mom, and that was a good conversation. The next day we had church, which was decent. I then, after church, played Magic with all the people, and that's now a thing. We always get together and play games after lunch, and I think it's really cool. Definitely a good after-lunch tradition. I then went to D&D, which was good. I must say, I really do enjoy playing Quinrell Arcanus. It's pretty fun, because I've always played like smart, brainy characters. The guy's dumb and just enthusiastic. Basically, he's Alexander the Great from Fate Zero. That's how I like to try and model him, so that's fantastic. This is a great character to play. After that, I did Bible study, and there were new people that came, and they were all mystically. And I was like, and they were like, it's a sign, the butterflies speak to me. I really hope they never listen to this. But yeah, they were very interesting, and I don't know if they'll be coming back. But regardless, it was cool to see new people. I then went home and talked with Majesty of Reason some more, because those conversations take me ages, because they require me to be smart, and being smart is hard, unless, it's not. And then most of the time, that's the case, so it takes me a lot of time. The next day, I was efficient. I got my homework done in a pretty efficient manner. And then, I realized why I got my trash score on the math exam, so I felt a little bit better. Kind of. Except for the fact that, this is dumb. You shouldn't have graded me this harshly. That's what I was thinking. But whatever. I did Ratio, homework at Ratio. I had a brief talk with Alan and Lee about the campaign of old times. So if you remember, I ran a campaign called An Inconceivable Avenger, and it was in my dungeon with a bunch of people. So I basically Liam made a short story about how the campaign alternatively should have ended, aka his judo throw the god to the portal gimmick had worked. And it was actually really well written, I gotta say. I was actually really impressed. Also, I got kind of hyped to, do a campaign again because of it. I still have my whole world building and all those things the characters didn't find out, so I'm kind of hoping that sometime I can run a sequel campaign. That's kind of a pipe dream right now, so that's far out. Anyway, that was fun. After that, I got home and made some chainmail as I watched some anime because I was like, well, I've worked very hard today and I deserve it. The next day, I did school where I started listening to this free will podcast called The Free Will Show. I do recommend it, actually, very good. I've already known most of the stuff we talked about so far, at least on the surface level, but it's good to get different angles on the subject, which is nice. It was recommended to me by Majesty of Reason, so I'm going to go through the 40-ish plus episodes and try and become a master of free will. So yeah, that's cool. I got to listen to that during work because I had to alphabetize a bunch of little bibs, little numbers you put on runners when they run the race. Yeah, that was my job. So I actually did something, which was actual work. But yeah, I enjoyed the podcast, and then I did chainmail, and it was really hard, and I tried to learn a bunch of new complicated weaves, and that was kind of death. After that, I watched an anime movie called Padma Inverted. I think that was it. And, kind of dumb, but kind of cool. Depends on your perspective. That's a Padma joke. Oh, there was one other thing. I finished anime. That's got to be one of the dumbest anime I've ever seen. Okay, so one character, right? There's two kingdoms. The Kingdom of Black and the Kingdom of White. I know, very creatively named. And the Kingdom of Black has two main characters. The dude that's supposed to take over the kingdom, like the prince, and his sidekick dude. But then, for no reason whatsoever, sidekick dude just tries to kill the princess of the White Kingdom after they have 5 episodes where they become friends. And the prince dude is like, slice! And he cuts his sidekick dude in half. Shoulder to waist, all the way in half. And, first of all, there's no remorse. Second of all, though, it's like a full slice. You see the dude slide in 2 halves separated by a foot. That was not gory because this anime is super cheap. But the point is, the sidekick dude's cut in half. And then later in the anime, the dude comes back. And the prince guy is justifiably like, you were alive? And then, get this, the sidekick guy is like, it'll take more than that to kill me. And I'm like, what do you mean? You were cut in half. Cut in half? What? How? How could you do more than that? Your body lay on the floor for 3 minutes, cut in half. How could it take more than that to kill you? So as you can tell, I was vexed. However, the anime did end up with everyone dying. And it was a completely dissatisfying ending where the queen was like, well, I can't beat the Black Kingdom, so I'm just going to set off a nuke and kill us all. And everyone was like, yay! And they all died. So, at least it wasn't what you'd expect. I give them points for originality. So yeah, sorry if that bored you, but I had to talk about that because I was just dumb. The next day it rained, and I rode in my rollerblades in the rain. It was clearly a mistake because the next day they were actually so trashed, and now they squeak and won't roll, so that's super sad. So my blades need new bearings, and I knew the rain was going to do that. But I was like, do I really care? Because the thing is, I was wearing these Converse shoes. I don't know how it's related. Anyway, I was wearing these Converse shoes because apparently they're fashionable. But the dumbest thing with the shoes is that when you walk, they flick up water and splash on top of the shoe. I don't even know how it's possible. But these shoes, they're designed to make the entire shoe soaked. So I was originally just going to walk and carry my blades since I had the extra time. But then, after 50 steps, I can feel the water in my toes. And I'm like, this is dumb. And my shoes are not, that they're getting wet from the top down, walking on a wet surface. It's not raining. So I decided to put on my blades and I bladed class, which again was clearly a mistake. So anyway, yeah, rich kid problems. I'm not actually rich. Well, it depends on your point of comparison versus people in Africa. But yeah, anyway, it's dumb. Why don't we have practical shoes that can also be fashionable? Explain this to me. Anyway, yep, did a bit of anime once I got home, and then I did magic at the lovely Magic Club. The next day I did electrical engineering, which was fine. I took a test, which I thought I aced, but I got an 80% on, so that's a bit disappointing. But whatever. I then got all my work done for the rest of the week, and it was only Thursday, so that was really cool. After that, Morgan came over and we watched the rest of Vivi, and she actually liked it a lot. And I got a new perspective on it. I think I like it better now. I then proceeded to read some about the extensive magic health powder that makes you buff and makes you healthy, and I was like, heck yeah. So I ended up buying such magic expensive health powder. So yeah, I now have magic expensive health powder, and we'll see if it works. Maybe I'll get buff. Maybe I won't. We'll find out. The next day, I discovered my blades were wrecked by the rain, which was sad. I then took the mechanical engineering test, and I got an 84, which, I thought I got like more than 90. Once again, disappointing, but 84 isn't garbage, plus when the class average is like 67 or something like that. So I should be happy. Anyway, school was busy. It was good, and I actually like having a busy day, so that was kind of like a first. After I hung out with Dad, who was bueno, and for the first time, I am the champion of our table tennis matches. I beat him in multiple games, and the era of his victory has died. A new era has born. An inconceivable era. And yeah, that was pretty great. We kind of just talked and got 5 guys, and it was cool. After that, I got home, made with chainmail, and listened to Free Will podcast. But yeah, chainmail's super time consuming. Like, I hope I choose a hobby. I understand I chose a hobby volitionally, but it's a very time consuming hobby. So hopefully I'll just learn a ton as I listen to like 10,000 hours of podcasts and read chainmail. The next day I had quiet time, which was cool. I then figured out that I did not have hepatitis C, which I suppose I did not include in the last life meal. So, okay. So here's what happened. So I was donating plasma, and they were like, stop, please. And I was like, what, why? And they said, well, your test has come back, and you may be diseased, so we're going to make you wait. And I was like, okay, I'll wait to figure out if I'm not diseased. And then they sent me a letter that were like, you're diseased. Congratulations. You have hepatitis C, and you're about to die. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's nice, great. So Mom pulled some strings, and she was like, Marion, could you make sure my son does or does not have Hep C? Like, could you test him more officially? And Marion was like, yeah, I got you, but in a much more feminine way. And then she talked to me about some things, and I got a blood draw, which was fine because I'm super used to needles at this point in time. And they tested me, and I don't actually have Hep C. Yay. But I'm still banned from donating plasma for life. So yeah, no more plasma for me. But hey, at least I don't have a deadly kidney disease. So that's nice. Anyway, I discovered I wasn't diseased, and that was fantastic. Then after that, I helped Dad fix a bike because I need a bike now, and I don't have because I don't have my blades. So we worked on that together, and that was good. Then after that, I did a bit more time. I listened to podcasts of the Free Willy sort. And then after that, I played Magic with Neo and Sydney at Neo's house. Then I did a thing with Sydney, as well as John, Alan, and Noah, which was decent. After that, I went to Alan's house for a little party he was forced to throw, which I know is a weird thing to say, but he basically lives in this fancy Christian house where they're like, throw a party once a month or I'll fire you. And by fire, I mean kick you out of the house. So yeah, kind of funny scenario. Anyway, we went to that, and it was okay. Got to eat like a bazillion bagels and cream cheese, so that was good. And so much chips and queso. Oh my gosh, probably not healthy. Yep, did that. And once I got back home, I joined the Restoration Minecraft, and then I fought Liam in an anime quiz, and we did not talk about that score because it was abysmal. And then I went to sleep. The next day I went to church, played Magic thereafter, and I think this is when the small terrifying child appeared, aka a kid who has access to his dad's apparently very epic Magic card collection. He was like, I know the game, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And he was like, I have this card, and I'm like, oh, we're so dead. Then after that I played D&D, which was good. We fought a zombie horde, and other things happened, but I don't want to talk about those. We then did a Bible study discussion where we're like, do you want the Bible to be like, what do you want the Bible to be like? And I was like, why am I here? And yeah, it was good to have, but I'm not really entirely sure how much progress was made. Let's see, I went home, watched some anime, took a bath, and then I watched this really visually epic anime with Grace. Oh my gosh, whoever animated this has no life because it must have taken so long. Man, it looked epic. So yeah, Grace and I watched a movie together, and we kind of went to bed. Next day was school, much homework, and then I did homework at Ratio. Then, as I was driving home, I was about to go to sleep, and Ben was like, yo, you want to watch the Jujutsu Kaisen movie? And I was like, it would break my schedule, and he was like, do it. So I was like, okay, sure. So then Caleb, Ben, and I all watched the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, and Caleb offered me free Taco Bell, so I broke my intermittent fasting because, come on, it's free Taco Bell. The next day I discovered that I did so-so on my mechanical engineering and electrical engineering tests, but not like garbage, as aforementioned. I then went to work, actually did my electrical engineering homework. Okay, I always do my engineering homework, but I did it with ease this time. Like, I understood the whole thing with minimal effort, and it felt great, because normally I'm like, oh, this is painful. So yeah, I got that on the first try, and it was great. After work, I did math, which was fine. I then did Tuesday night stuff, but I left early, and I mean early, like 10 minutes, or like, no, not 10 minutes, like at 10. And talked with Magic Reason, and did some more Chainmail Plus philosophy, because Chainmail philosophy is cool. The next morning, I engaged in school. I did not do homework at work because I folded shirts obsessively. I am now very good at folding shirts. See, the Health and Exercise Science Department runs the homecoming race where we have to like make all the merch and set it up and stuff. So it means I get the privilege of folding 10 bazillion shirts. I don't know how much it costs them to print all those shirts, but it's got to be a lot. Like, there's so many. Plus, they're all really nice quality. So yeah, I folded and listened to philosophy. I then biked I'll fix my bike some more because even though me and Dad made it rideable, the back tire was like, I'm going to explode. And I was like, no, how about you don't? So I fixed that. I then bought some groceries. I went to Magic Club, which was cool. I fought some people at Magic Club and tried to do homework, but failed because it was actually like hard for once. And I'm not, and it was just tedious. I then went on a run with Mom when I got home, and that was good. Oh, I forgot at this point my Magic Power Deck arrived, aka the expensive Magic Health Powder, which is not steroids, in case you're wondering. It's just amino acids, in case you're concerned. Anyway, since it got here, I was like, I actually need to exercise, because I'm paying like $150 for this Magic Power, so I better make sure it's useful. So I went on a run with Mom, and I got to talk to Mom, and that was cool. So when we got back, I started watching a new anime, since anime I've been watching turned out to be sketch. The next day, I went rock climbing at CSU's gym, which was actually fantastic. They let you like borrow shoes for free, and it's a nice gym. And there was like hardly anyone there, so it's surprising like how empty it was. So that was cool. But my arms were like, oh, could you not? And I was like, I can't hold on to any things anymore. So I stopped doing that and I went swimming. That was also fun. Well, fun meaning painful. See, I feel like swimming could be a really good aerobic exercise, if not for the fact that whenever I gasp for air, I'm like, oh, let me drink half the pool. So I need to figure out how to breathe without ingesting water when I swim. That would be great. But yeah, I did that, and it was good to have vigorous exercise in the morning. After quiet time and stuff, I went to school, did homework, made more chainmail, and then I did something that you would not expect me to do. Are you ready for this? I went to hip hop dance club. Yep, gonna repeat it. Here we go. I went to hip hop dance club. You know the aforementioned looking at CSU clubs? Well, one of the things that was there was a hip hop dance club. And since, Alex 2.0 is no longer bound by his old persona, I decided I would go to the hip hop dance club. And so I did. And honestly, I loved it. It was actually fantastic. Like, a horrible day to come because they were like, today is freestyle day, a day where you just do your own thing. And I'm like, I can't dance at all, and you're supposed to teach me. But they did teach us some stuff. They taught us how to pop, which is apparently flexing and relaxing rapidly. It's like making exaggerated movements. So we're all just popping for like an hour and a half. Oh my gosh. If you want to have an exhausting dance move, talk about popping. Try just flexing as hard as you can and then relaxing it in rapid succession for like an hour and a half. It was definitely exhausting, but also just a blast. The whole time, everyone... Okay, I mean, not everyone. Some people were there that were really good. But lots of people were just garbage dancing, and you don't feel bad when everyone's garbage. So, yeah. It was just like everyone having fun, not really worried about how they looked. So, dancing was actually a great time. On the way home, I noticed some people playing spike ball on the field, and I was like, I like spike ball. So I joined in, and it was a good game. They were good players, but unfortunately, they were shut down. We were shut down because lights turned off and the fields were lame. So, yeah, I didn't actually get to finish those games once I got home. I worked on chainmail, and my body was like basically just dead. My arms were like, I hate you. Well, more like my whole body was like that. My abs are still in pain. I watched a bit of anime with Mom, and that was what I did that day. The day thereafter, I put stickers on my water bottle. I bought a water bottle off Amazon and thought that, since everyone puts stickers on the water bottle, I'm going to do it too. But of course, my stickers are going to be anime. So here's some pictures. Those are still there, actually. I think it looks great, of course. I understand this brings me even further into weebdom, if that's a thing. And I would like to distance myself to some degree from those people, but I understand that it's, becoming more difficult to do the more decisions I make. So, yep, did that. I put stickers under all the desks, so all the places I sit at school, because no one ever checks on the desks. Thus, when I'm old, I can come back and be like, I sat here, and here's the proof. Sticker. So, that's kind of a fun thing I did. I got free soup from Spoons at work, because it was a soup day. I then hung out with Grace and Mom and splurged. I bought a bunch of sushi and croissants, and then we started watching Season 2 of Shield Hero, but it turns out that is garbage. So that's unfortunate. And it kind of ruined the whole, mood, but whatever. You know what? We all got to eat sushi, so that was cool. I then rode over to Music City Hot Chicken, where I waited food. Not just my food, mind you, but other people's food. I was with John, Ellen, and Neil, because we're all just going to hang out and eat Music City Hot Chicken. But I was like, I'm already doing things with my family. And they were like, fine, we'll do Music City Hot Chicken without you. And it turns out their food took almost an hour to arrive, so I'm glad I wasn't there the full time. After that, we all went to watch Batman, the newest one, at Ellen's house. And that was decent. It was fun to mock because, gosh, Batman moves so slow. I'm pretty sure he's got like a 35-second long sequence where he just reaches his hand out like a foot and a half. It was painful. Yeah, Batman is just dumb. He doesn't even look cool. You just, think about how much dumber he must look to everyone that doesn't get the epic music as he slowly reaches his hand forward. Anyone standing near would be like, the dude's gonna grab the bat. He's gonna do it. It's right there. And then, he just doesn't because he just goes so slow. But yeah, it was good. Once I got home, I read an imitation Life of Day email from Sydney. Not Sydney, Neo's wife, my writing friend Sydney. And the email was actually fantastic. Imitation meaning she wrote one to me. She's actually doing really well and has had an interesting life. So I really enjoyed reading about it. And yep, that basically brings me to the present. I woke up, helped Liam move, which was long. Liam has so much stuff. Apparently normal people accumulate stuff as they get older. Who would have thunk? I guess I would have more stuff if I didn't move 10,000 times. Yeah, it was actually a lot more work than I expected, but he gave us all a copious amounts of Qdoba as rewards. That was cool. Once I got home, I was like, I'm tired and sore. So I took an Epsom salt bath and watched some anime. Finally, I came to this point and started doing this. Yep, voice typing is beautiful. I mean, I've had to edit this. It's taking me 3 hours, but way less work. And with that, you're welcome. This is the last of the Life of email, so I bid thee farewell.